Have y'all niggas been reading the news? What's good, y'all? Just the Kicks 212 here, and I'm back with another discussion video. This is gonna be a real interactive discussion. This is a crazy topic. I think this is one of the biggest sneaker stories we had in a long ass time. And it's like being swept under the rug, in my opinion. It's not like even really being talked about or nothing like that. How could you be that fucking stupid? Disclaimer before I say anything, I don't want to get nobody upset or anything. This is a disclaimer. All of this is allegedly, all right? Allegedly. I don't know how true it is, but this is my take on it. You can take it with a grain of salt, or you can take it and run with it. I can give two shits, to be honest, but this is all alleged, all right? Let me give you just the short gist of it. You got your man Jason Keaton. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his last name right, just because I don't know him on a first or last name basis, but I know him as Artifacts. If you guys don't know who Artifacts is, you can follow him on Instagram. His page is actually private right now, but his username should be on the screen right now. Artifacts, from my experience with Artifacts, is an actual sneaker guy who he'll show up at shows. He last time I think I seen him was at a Laced Up. He usually has every single sample you could fucking think of, and his man's that's there with him got some samples that you never seen before. And the table that his man's brought with him supposedly got some samples that none of y'all niggas have seen before. Artifacts got caught up. End of story. He got caught up. That's the only reason why I'm saying his name at this point. It's out there. Dude gets caught in Oregon trying to receive his look-see samples that he purchased for $20,000. He was allegedly purchasing sneakers from a nigga named Tung Ho. That's his name. Sorry, that's his name. Don't laugh, no homo, whatever you want to say. But we just gonna call him Ho, because that's his name. I don't want to say Tung, because it sounds wild. Ho, who's actually the Nike basketball product line manager, and another ex-employee who actually left the company to start his own brand of glasses, Looksy. His name is Kyle Yamaguchi, I believe. So Artifacts is a nigga who's purchasing the shoes. The actual Nike product line manager at the basketball department is Ho, and the previous product line manager who actually left and actually got Ho the job, his job, so they can continue doing what they were doing, is Yama. All right, Yama, Ho, and Artifacts. So bam, let me get straight to the point. So Artifacts, for the last year, 2 years, has been purchasing shoes from Ho and Yamaguchi. Yama was actually selling these sample shoes and getting a 20% cut because Ho was supplying him. Because remember, Ho got the job from Yama before he booked it from Nike. Pretty much spending thousands and thousands of dollars on look-see samples. If you don't know what a look-see sample is, it's an actual sample the product line manager can actually request from Asia. They make it over there, they send it right to them. It's like a one of one most of the time. Sometimes they can make one of, like they can make 5, 10, whatever the product line manager is asking. According to the documents, allegedly Ho was actually getting these look-see samples, putting them in his duffel bag and leaving the building with them. Nigga, how do you get caught selling these shoes? Like, yo, shouldn't be having that shit. I've been to the Nike campus a few times. There are cameras everywhere, my man. How the fuck do you think you're getting out the building with a fucking full bag of sneakers and nobody's gonna know? The camera sees you coming in with nothing and you leaving with a duffel bag. And then another thing is, whenever you order anything over there, there's a receipt for it, so it gets billed somewhere. So once they see like, yo, there's 100 shoes over there in the basketball department that got ordered for samples, and I don't see them in the basketball department. Where are they? Nigga, you're looking crazy hot. What are you doing, nigga? Long story short, Artifacts paid Ho and Yamaguchi, whoever he paid, 20 G's. Like last week, 2 weeks before. He went to go pick him up. I think it was like Monday or Tuesday, the article said. And the feds just came and snatched up your boy, threw them fucking cuffs on your mans and locked him up. The funny shit about that is Ho and Yama have not been arrested. So what I took from that, Yama is not a confidential informant, but a confidential source. They're using them like that. They're not saying he's an informant, but they're using them as a confidential source, which is technically a snitch either way. They caught these niggas doing this shit, like stealing, you know what I mean? And it was like, yo, if y'all niggas don't want to be locked up and don't want to be charged on federal charges, y'all niggas better work with us. And that's what they was doing. So bam, you got Ho and you got Yamaguchi all fucked up. They got caught up. And I'm assuming that they just continue doing what they were doing, business as usual with Artifacts, even after they were caught up, just to get evidence on Artifacts. Because that's the only sense that makes, you know what I mean? If they got caught up back in like January, February, how the fuck this nigga was still getting samples and all this shit? So Ho got his house raided. They found like 2,000 pair of shoes and they read him his rights and everything, and the nigga still told on himself. I don't understand y'all niggas who tell on yourself. If something goes down, wait for your lawyer, nigga. Like literally, just wait for your lawyer. Don't talk. Because right after they told him his rights and told him he don't got to speak or nothing, wait for a lawyer, the nigga said, I went and stole 700 pair of look-see samples from Nike. Come on, you didn't have to say that. You could have just shut up, wait for lawyer advice, and then once you lawyered up, you could have said what you wanted to. But I don't know. Come on, nigga, you didn't think you were gonna get caught up? You 700, how the fuck you get 700 shoes out the fucking building, nigga? Dude stole over 700, that's what he's telling niggas. You know that shit is probably like double, triple, or whatever. They was sending each other like thousands and thousands of dollars. Another thing that I thought was crazy, your man Yama, he was actually at SneakerCon, New York, like a year ago, some shit like that. A year and a half ago. Like for example, I see you at a show, you see a nigga with a sample table, you see all this shit, you're like, yo, this shit's crazy, and you're taking pictures and shit. Mind you, a lot of samples you're not allowed to take pictures of. You'll meet those niggas at shows who be like, yo, no picture. But this nigga has all his samples lined up because he thinks he don't work for the company. It's all gravy, those is his, whatever. And he's there with his little look-see glasses and his little fucking thing. Nigga has a whole article on Soul Collector. You can find the link down below. And I remember when he actually went to SneakerCon, because Twitter was blowing up like, yo, there's this nigga with who has this, and that. Like, and it's crazy. Like, you don't think you drawing mad attention to yourself, nigga. If you hustling, you don't be wearing your fucking 10 chains at the same time, your Gucci shoes, and you standing on the corner, nigga. You don't do that, nigga. That's what he did. And then you act like Nike don't know you just got that nigga hoe a job. You know what I mean? So you still getting kicks. So that means, how's he getting you the kicks? Is he stealing the kicks to get them? Because you can't take a look-see. Anyway, this nigga fucking Artifacts was spending thousands and thousands of dollars. Like over $100,000, $200,000, $300,000. Yama's actual banking statements. Chase was actually contacting him, according to the report, about how's he getting all this money and shit. There's like bank transfers for over $100,000 to Yamaguchi, and Yamaguchi was getting 20% off shit he was selling for hoe. Like, niggas don't understand. Like, with banks, you don't fuck around with banks. Just to let you niggas know out there, if you ever sending anybody money through a bank, if you ever send over $1,000, you have to sign an affidavit. So that means that paper gets signed by you and it gets sent to the feds, and the feds just investigate like, hey, he's sending someone $1,000. If you send someone $999.99, you don't have to sign one. But imagine niggas who are sending each other's hundreds of thousands of dollars. Obviously, the bank is gonna investigate what the fuck you're doing, my man. Like, nigga, what the fuck you gonna tell niggas? I'm selling shoes, nigga? Come on, man. I'm assuming that since they're Nike employees and they're actually cooperating, that's why Nike's not actually pressing federal charges against both those guys. When you telling on the nigga, niggas gonna be like, go ahead, rock, I guess. If you guys are wondering, your man Tung Ho, is no longer a Nike employee. He's been terminated by the company. Another thing that probably saved them those federal charges is the nigga actually got Artifacts to talk about the shoes that he's purchasing for 20 G's. And Artifacts came with 20 G's in a bag, gave him the money. And according to the documents is, your man Yama probably met up with a bunch of other people who purchase shoes, like an Artifacts type nigga. And trying to set up everybody, trying to get everybody out the fucking circle. And then, come on, Artifacts, my man, you was selling shit in Oregon? Come on, that's where Nike is. You don't think they're gonna be like pop into a shop or pop up at a show? Because there's niggas who work at Nike who pop up at those sneaker shows, and you see a nigga with samples like, oh yeah, this is no property of Nike. Okay, how'd you get this, kid? Like, you don't think that's gonna happen? At this point, it's all out there. Everything is out there. So if you guys don't know, Artifacts, he was actually supplying Sneaker Yeti for a long time. You remember Sneaker Yeti? I don't know if you niggas still follow them, but they were selling PEs at one time. And there's a bunch of your favorite sneakerheads that were actually getting free product for them to review, to take pictures with, and all this extra shit. Not saying no names, because a lot of them niggas I'm actually friends with, I'm cool with. There was niggas who didn't understand how these niggas was getting these samples and all this shit, and they were like, yo, that's fake. Yo, that's fake. Yo, this nigga got some fake shit. Yo, like, niggas was going in on like a bunch of these niggas. Meanwhile, they don't even know what the fuck is happening. They don't know there's a bigger scheme at play. So back in, I think, January, February, Sneaker Yeti stopped selling PEs. Like, they were like, yo, we're not getting no more. If we have some, we're only gonna help our elite customers. And the reason being is, if you look at the actual court documents, in February, you got the Nike security actually contacting the FBI talking about shoes being stolen. And that was it. He wasn't fucking with Yeti no more, because Yeti and him were fucking up by selling shoes to niggas who were going to shows with the shoes. Now, you're probably like, why the fuck would you buy a shoe and you can't go to a show with it? Listen, when I tell you this, These niggas have look-see samples. They're not regular sample shoes. They're not regular promo shoes. These are look-see samples. For example, the LeBron 7 Penny Tribute. You know, the one that looks like the Penny 1? There's like, let's say there's like 100 of them, right? In existence, right? There's like 5 of them, which are look-see samples. They actually have like just a special print that the other 100 don't. So imagine, you go to a sneaker con Miami, for example, and you walking through and shit, and you see a nigga with the look-see sample. Mind you, you don't know it's a look-see sample. You just see a fucking sample shoe. You see the tribute shoe, a friends and family shoe, whatever. And you're like, yo, let me get a picture. And you know the niggas will be like, yo, no picture, no picture. Like don't take no pictures. You know why? It's because those are those look-see samples that cannot be taken pictures of. Because if they do, and Nike sees a picture on a sneaker block, because they always check all the sneaker blocks, and they see the sample, they'll be like, yo, there's only 5 of them shits. And the only nigga who can get them shits is Ho. Artifacts was getting those crazy 5 only worldwide shits. So it's one of those situations where they were selling the niggas who were doing that kind of shit, bringing these shits to shows, and you'll have a nigga like me who goes to a show and I record the show, you know what I mean? So, and then let's say I post a link and I'll be like, oh shit, dope, crazy PE. Mind you, he didn't see me recording him, but that's on the internet now. And now Nike sees that, and now they're like, oh, there's only 10 of these, and there's only 3 of these, and there's only 1 of these, and the only person who can get these is this nigga, so it's this nigga. So that's probably what the fuck happened. Artifacts was actually selling them off to places like in California, Oregon, New York, New Jersey, Florida. And it's crazy. It's crazy because there was rumors going around that Artifacts was supplying people, the wrong people, with samples. He was just, whoever was willing to pay, he was willing to sell them to him. And he was fucking up by doing that because some of the shoes he was selling wasn't meant for somebody. For example, like if previously you would get a sample or 2 out there wasn't too many niggas with too many samples. You know what I mean? You would, like, if you go to like a big show like a sneaker con Miami, for example, you'll see a nigga with just a PE table. It was rare. You see like 1 nigga. Nowadays you see like 10 niggas. You see like 15 niggas with PE tables, and you're like, how the fuck all these niggas got PEs? And then that's where all those rumors was going around about that nigga shit is fake, that nigga shit is fake, it don't make sense how he got that, it don't make sense how he got that. Like, it was all a bunch of that. But another thing that it did to the PE market, by bringing all these samples to the market, he's purchasing them, let's say he purchases one for $1,000. Then he sells it for 3,000 sneaker Yeti, for example. Yeti gets it, he's selling it for 5 G's. What that just did was it raised the PE market price point. We're at the point where it's acceptable to sell a fucking sneaker for like $5,000, and that being normal for a PE, which is retarded. So Artifacts was released from jail over there on Thursday. He got a lawyer. Lawyer is accordingly saying that he's gonna actually plead not guilty. So now Artifacts is free. He's in the streets. He's gonna do what he gotta do. So before I get into anything else, whose fault do you think this is? What's your opinion on this? Do you think it's the responsibility of the Nike employees, like they should be the ones who's blamed because they're the ones who's actually stealing this product and selling it to somebody? Or do you think it's your man Artifact's fault because he knows these are samples? Like inside most of these shoes it says property of Nike, not for resale. And even the ones that they don't say that and they rip out the tags, you know what I mean? Because they do that shit. They rip out the tags just so, you know, you can't actually track the shoe back to the person who had it, you know what I mean? Because some of these shoes have like actual ID numbers to a person. Who takes responsibility? Does Artifacts, Yama, and Ho, or both of them? Like, they're all just fucked up. They shouldn't be doing either. Both of these niggas, all 3 of these niggas should know better. Let me hear y'all niggas' opinions on it. Some people can feel like, yo, Yama and Ho know they shouldn't be stealing shoes. So they're selling them, and then you got a nigga who's willing to buy them. You're in a sneaker market where anybody, if any one of us niggas got hit up by a nigga from Nike, a product line manager, like, yo, I sell you this PE for $100, how many of us are gonna be like, no? Anyway, I don't really have much else to say other than that. I want to hear what you guys got to say down in the comments down below. Let me hear what you allegedly heard. All the links to everything I provided in the video are actually down below. And make sure you follow me on Instagram and Twitter, JustForKicks212. Subscribe to the channel, like the fucking video, share the fucking video. If you think this is informative, share the fucking video, my niggas. Holla at y'all later. JustForKicks212. Mwah.